Ruth Wakefield made the chocolate chip cookie on accident. See, she was trying to make regular chocolate cookies, but ran out of baker's chocolate. So what she did was she took a chocolate bar, broke it up, mixed it in the dough, and when the cookies came out, she realized the chocolate never melted, making chocolate chip cookies. Probably one of the most delicious mistakes ever, creating one of the most popular types of cookies. Now, making a 180 here, Charles Goodyear sought out to make a rubber that wouldn't melt in the heat and wouldn't crack in the cold. And the way he did that was on accident. He had a rubber compound that contained sulfur in it, and when he accidentally dropped it on a hot stove, he saw that it didn't melt. After further testing, it didn't crack in the cold, and this led him to make the vulcanization process for rubber. Now, going back to food, the widely distributed drink 7-Up wasn't always a widely distributed drink. It was originally created for people that are bipolar to help them stabilize their mood. It contained lithium being the key ingredient to do that. But the creator said, you know what, we have something good. This tastes good, but it's kind of a narrow scope of people that actually drink this. So they took the lithium out, carbonated it, and then widely distributed it, and now it's a quite popular drink. Now, what is the difference between these three types of serendipity? The first one, the Ruth Wakefield example, finding something not sought out for. Ruth Wakefield was trying to make the same old cookies she had been making for the longest time, but instead made something new. The second example, Charles Goodyear, discovering something that was sought out for, but in an unexpected way. And the third example, finding something that's used for something different than planned. Now, these three types of serendipity drive innovation. Some of the most notable everyday products, Coca-Cola, penicillin, the inkjet printer, potato chips, all the product of one of these three types of serendipity. Now, what can we learn from these three types of serendipity? How can we increase serendipity? Or is even trying to increase serendipity defeating what it's all about? So maybe staying open-minded, keeping all options open, is the key to increasing these serendipitous events. You know, looking at the how of how a lot of these creations were invented, I saw a causation. With the rise of creativity came the rise of serendipity. This brings me to my next point. Who are the most creative people? I would say children. Picasso said, all children are artists. The problem is how to remain an artist once he grows up. And this brings me to my next point. Once he grows up. He's kind of saying you lose your artistry, you lose your creativity. Now, what causes this? What is the main event that takes place in a person's life between when they are a child and when they are an adult? You go to school. And this brings me to my next point. I think schools are, like Ken Robinson said, quote, students are educated out of creativity. You know, you go to school, you walk in, you sit in nice, neat rows, you passively take notes for an hour and a half, and then the next day or two, you're expected to absorb all of that information. Here's a comparison. Here, we have a chocolate chip cookie. We'll call that the student, and the chocolate chips are their creativity. And then that ring right there, that's school. And on the inside, you have your core classes, the classes that they say really matter. And on the outside, you have your creative classes. And then this is before school, and then this is after school. You're left with a sad, plain old sugar cookie. Now, obviously, this is a leap. For my purposes, this will work. Now, how can we fix this? How can we put serendipity back into school? I don't know. But I have a lead. I have two leads. So me giving you this talk right now, this stems back about a month and a half ago. In our English 1 curriculum, we were required to write a TED Talk. Not give a TED Talk, but write a TED Talk. And to be honest, I wasn't that excited about it. I was thinking, I really don't want to do this, but I dove into the project, and I instantly fell in love. I found serendipity on a project that's topic is serendipity. Now, my next example is Mr. McCarg. He runs our school's DMC, Digital Media Center, and the things he's doing with his students is amazing. So you walk in, you look straight ahead, and you see 3D printed items that either he or his students made. They either made it from the ground up, designed all of it, found a file online, and put their own creative twist on it, or they 3D scanned it and literally recreate something. And then you look this way, and you see a music setup. Kids are making music, really being creative, and computers all along the side, and students are working on projects, graphic design. I feel if we can apply some of the, sorry guys. If we can apply some of the practices and principles that Mr. McCarg has in the DMC all over education, we'd be in a better place. I hope schools will start teaching students how to feel instead of what to feel, how to think instead of what to think. I hope schools will teach students how to find new solutions to problems we can't quite solve. I hope schools will teach students how to find new I hope schools will teach students how to find new uses for problems we couldn't quite solve. I hope schools will teach students how to find new unexpected discoveries, new unexpected solutions to problems we can't quite solve, and new uses for things we haven't already found. I believe every student can be an artist in every field of work. All it takes is a bit of luck, a bit of creativity, and you have serendipity. Thank you.